You've probably all heard the term VPN already, but what exactly is a VPN? This would be good to know, since there are lots of occasions where a VPN could be helpful, even ones where you don't even know yet that you should use one. So hey, I'm Brian with EBO Gadgets, and this is what a VPN is, why and when you should use one, and which one is probably the best for most people. So at first, what is a VPN? Normally, your devices connect to the internet through a modem, whether that is through an integrated LTE modem in your phone or the modem in your router at home. That modem gets an IP address and serves as the gateway for all the devices in the private network behind it. Now VPN stands for Virtual Private Network. This means that your devices will now connect to a router or a VPN server through the internet, making it seem to all the services you are using as though you were in the location of that VPN server. You're basically tunneling your traffic to another place through the internet. That is why this system is also commonly referred to as a VPN tunnel. But where could such a tunnel be helpful? Well, take public Wi-Fi networks for example. They mostly don't require you to type in a password to connect, and even if they do, everybody has that password. So anyone on that network could theoretically see everything you're doing on that Wi-Fi hotspot because the traffic is either not encrypted or can easily be decrypted. Most banking websites of course use SSL, or HTTPS, to encrypt your traffic apart from that, but I still think that the idea of someone with malicious thoughts having access to all your traffic isn't that favorable. A VPN will help you here because it encrypts your traffic on the way to the VPN server, so everybody spying can just see that you're using a VPN but not what you're doing. A VPN can also be helpful when you need to make it seem to a service as though you are in a different country to access it. Certain authoritarian states block websites like Facebook or Google for example, so you'll need a VPN tunnel to access them from there. If you're on vacation in one of these countries and you use a VPN, you can use Google and Facebook like normal, as though you were in Germany or the US for example. And as I mentioned previously, a VPN will also stop the government of the state from spying on you. But there are also services that are blocked outside of a specific country, because your TV provider, for example, only has the right to provide coverage of a certain event in your country. If you're on vacation, you can use a VPN tunnel to watch US Olympics coverage in Spain, for example, even though some other provider has the exclusive right to cover the games in the country. One very practical example that I have recently used a VPN for is enabling face recognition in Google Photos outside of the US. The feature is not available anywhere else due to privacy concerns, but if you want to have it, you can still do so by resetting your Google Photos app and connecting to a US VPN server. You'll now have an option to enable the feature in the app's settings. So now that you know why having a VPN might make sense, which one are you supposed to use? There are numerous options out there, from paid ones to free ones to even hosting your own VPN server. But the best one that I've found so far is Opera VPN. Most VPN providers will have a free option with limited bandwidth and an unlimited tier that costs money. I find, however, that the 500 megabytes that most providers give you in the free option are not enough for a full month of browsing at all, even though you will probably only use the service occasionally. And they also require you to set up an account with them. None of this is true for Opera. You just download the Opera VPN app on your Android or iOS device, or the Opera browser for your PC or Mac, and you're good to go. Opera doesn't have you set up an account, and they also don't enforce any data limits. I've noticed, however, that the internet connection through Opera servers is limited to around 10 megabits. This is slower than the connection most people will have at home, that's why it's probably not practical to use all the time, but you probably weren't planning on that anyway, and the service is still fast enough to download some files or stream HD video. I like having the convenience of just flipping a switch and having the VPN enabled, and not having to worry about my data consumption. If you just want to use it from time to time like I do, not having to log in is just another bonus. When choosing a VPN, privacy is of course a valid concern. An argument that a lot of people bring against VPNs is that a US-based VPN provider, for example, has to give out data to US intelligence agencies in certain cases. This does only mean, however, that you shouldn't use a VPN for fraudulent purposes, to hide yourself. It still means that you're more protected than if you were not using one. Unless, of course, you're using a sketchy VPN provider that wants to collect all your data. Opera is based in Norway, by the way, and European privacy standards are very high. There's one thing, however, that you can't do with most VPNs. Streaming copyrighted content from sources like Netflix. Most streaming websites block VPN services. They do this because they only have the right to distribute their content in the country that you are tunneling to. When you're using a VPN, they can't ensure that you're in this country, which presents some legal issues for the service provider. Hosting your own VPN server will save you from this. Setting up your own VPN is not that easy, however, and you will need a router that supports it. That's why I'm going to save this option for a later date. So I hope I could provide you with a solution for some issues that you might have had with accessing certain services outside of certain countries. And you'll hopefully now use Opera VPN the next time that you'll want to do more than surfing the web on a public Wi-Fi hotspot. But do you use a VPN? If so, when and which one? Let me know down in the comments below or tweet it at me. And as always, if you liked this video, you should press the according button down under it and get subscribed to the channel for more content like this. You should also check out the previous videos I did on similar topics, and click follow on Instagram and especially Twitter, because I post a lot of exclusive and behind the scenes content there. You should also check out the website for the written version of this and other interesting articles. But with that, I want to thank you all for watching, and I'm going to see you in the next video.